Hello everyone, and welcome back to another lesson in our course. And in this lesson, I want to talk a bit about SIEM systems, as in why do we need SIEM systems, what are the challenges, and how do they work on a basic level. I do assume some basic level of familiarity with this kind of topic, but hopefully this lesson will be able to cover some missing holes in understanding. So basically, a SIEM system is a log aggregation platform that allows us to collect logs and perform some actions on the logs, such as adding context and alerting and reporting. That's a very basic introduction. So we need SIEM in order to deal with large volumes of log messages, such as audit records, audit trails, event logs, application logs, etc. And log management, it basically covers log collection, centralized aggregation, long-term retention, log analysis, and as well as searching and reporting. So imagine that you have a SIEM system and you collect some logs from various systems. You want to have them saved on the database, first of all for compliance goals. And let's say after a year or two, you need to investigate an old alert, and you can do that because you have event retention on the SIEM system. So that's a very useful feature to have. And some of the challenges we're facing with SIEM systems is, how do we analyze logs for relevant security intelligence? How do we centralize the collection of the logs? How do we meet IT compliance requirements? How do we conduct effective root cause analysis and making the data more meaningful and tracking user behavior? So basically, centralization is very important because you want all of your logs to reach one central location in order to have correlation available to you. So let's say, for example, you're collecting logs from your Windows servers, Windows endpoints, your firewalls, your IAM systems, and you create rules. That's the main feature to add value to your logs. You can create rules that alert on certain conditions, and you basically want to have correlation available between your different systems. So if an attacker is managing to get access to your organization, he's going to pass through multiple stations. So first of all, he has to get credentials to one of the users or one of your services, and then he's going to do some maybe reconnaissance or malicious activities. And each of those steps is happening on a different system, right? So you basically want to have correlation, to have visibility on all of your systems in one place, which is the SIEM system. And if one of your rules fires, you also want it to be presented in a centralized way. So for example, an alert, for example. So one of your rules triggers, it creates an alert, and inside the alert, you can see all of the relevant logs that contributed to the alert, which makes it very, very useful. And instead of looking at different systems in different locations, you can do all of that from one location, which makes analysis very effective and quick than the manual approach. And of course, the issue of tracking user behavior, for example, logging in from new locations, logging in after working hours could be considered suspicious behavior. So you want that to be monitored by the SIEM system as well. You can do that by creating rules with conditions, which we will cover in later sections of the course. And basically, the first segment of SIEM, which is SIEM, stands for Security Event Management. It deals with real-time monitoring, correlation of events, notification, and console views. And that's the first part of the SIEM. And the second part is SIEM, It deals with long-term storage, analysis and reporting of log data, and is known as security information management. So these two parts go hand in hand, and that's basically the goal of a SIEM system, is to unify those two parts and deliver both long-term storage, correlation, everything in one place. And the usual flow of a SIEM is, first of all, you have to collect the data, right? That's in this graph, you have all of your inputs, right? So you have, for example, you have your OS logs, your application, devices, and database. And on the other side, you have contextual data, which can be vulnerability scans, user information, asset information, and threat intelligence. And you basically feed all of the data into the SIEM, and the SIEM performs analysis and correlation by rules, either out-of-the-box rules or user-created ones, and it displays an output that can be in the form of an alert, a report, dashboard, for example, and it basically delivers much quicker and more unified method of getting intelligent and contextualized data about your network and organization, all from one platform. And we're going to go more in depth about how to utilize those features and to see how it can make our organization more secure by delivering relevant information to us. So, for example, if you are a SOC analyst or you're working at your organization, you naturally will know what kind of threats are relevant to your organization. So you can work at a financial institution, for example, or in the healthcare field, and each field is going to face different kind of threats for the most of the time. And basically, by utilizing threat intelligence, both public and private, you can really scope down your analysis to the threats that matter most to your organization, which is basically the main purpose of our SIEM solution. And we're going to go really in depth on how to create rules and how to utilize all of these features in further parts of the course. And with that being said, let's go to our QRadar introduction in the next chapter. See you then.